let's try an oldie but goodie. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chitty bitty bitty bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom, woohoo! Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam, shitty, bitty, bitty, bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Leslie Berger, co-president of the temple, along with David Youngman. Last week we spoke about brotherhood events. This week it's sisterhood's turn. This Wednesday, a sisterhood program. The social hour starts at 6:30. This program is about Jews on Tin Pally in vaudeville. It'll be on Zoom and in person. Should be fun. We welcome the 5th and 6th grade students on the Bima to lead the service tonight. The teacher, Julie Nolte, won't be with us tonight. She and her kids are recovering from sickness. Thank you to Rabbi Mark for helping from COVID, yes. Thank you to Rabbi Mark for helping with the service and with Dr. Ray for the beautiful music. Cantor Stacey is homesick, so she'll be watching us on YouTube. Hi, Cantor Stacey. Thank you to our tech team, Phil Carey, David Youngman, Chris Jastrock, and Susan Carey for leading the chat on YouTube. Torah study tomorrow morning on Zoom at 10 a.m., same link as last time. Thank you to our ushers, Diana Brown and Barry Davis. And the emergency exits are...
Just get out.
Right. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Leslie. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm afraid illnesses have struck us down and other activities as well. 2 of our students are unable to be with us, so they have been recorded. So we're going to do something similar to what we did last week in being able to have them participate in our service via pre-recording. If anything, the pandemic taught us, although it is important for us to all be together as often as we can, if we cannot be together, there are technological ways that enable us to still come together. So we have learned many things from our pandemic. I am grateful to our 2 students who are here, Raina Whitforth and Gerald Rudd. Gerald Rudd, the 2 of the students who will be helping to lead. In addition, we have Lily Seen and Ellie Cudler, who will appear on the video. And the students have prepared for us a special Torah portion presentation, just to whet our appetites for those who would like to join us tomorrow morning for a fuller exploration of the Torah portion. You may certainly do so. But tonight you get an appetizer. Yes, this is the Torah portion hors d'oeuvre will be part of our service this evening. For those of you joining us from home, now is a great time to set aside some candles, some challah, a bissela of your favorite Shabbat beverage, so that we might share together in the appropriate blessings when we do them. And we have Shabbat greetings from Jeff and Wilma Shear, Ted and Noel Singer, Rita and Bob Rubin, and the Magnella family. I wish to acknowledge that Jeff is a past president of our congregation, and Rita is a member of our temple board. Thank you both for your continued support of our Shabbat greetings, an opportunity for us to raise a little bit of money at the same time to express some personal greetings to everyone. Shabbat has come, and I am happy to say not a moment too soon. I felt myself slipping away during this past week. I have been overwhelmed with emails. I have been overwhelmed with various duties and responsibilities. I felt myself being torn asunder this past week. This time, this Friday evening and Saturday, truly is an antidote to all the pressures of our week. I find I have the opportunity to pull all of those different pieces of myself back together again. I have a chance just to sit for a little bit, to not go shopping, to not balance the checkbook. Yeah, right, I'll do that tomorrow. Not to pay bills. Instead, just to find my way back to myself. It is unfortunate that in this modern age, with all of our technology, with all of our resources available to us, that we have lost the simple act of just being. We can't just be. We have to watch television and watch sports or watch something. We have to go shopping. We have to get in the car and go driving. No. On Shabbat, we don't have to do anything. Shabbat gives us that time just to say, thank you very much, I'm going to take a break. Even sport game, except for world football. No, and even they have a break. They do have a break. And so every sporting event has an intermission. Gives everyone a chance to, raid the concession stand more than likely, but more importantly, to take a break from the action. This is our halftime show, folks. And we need to pack it full of stuff that enriches our lives. That's what Shabbat should be for us. I hope we all have the opportunity to do exactly that, to unplug, to not do what you have to do, and instead do what you want to do. This is the liberation of Shabbat. And we welcome this Shabbat with the singing of a special version of Lecha Dodi, which you can find on page 20 in your prayer books on the screen in front of you. This gives us a chance just to acknowledge that there is a special friend, a guest that we are welcoming this very night, who will be with us as long as we let this guest stay in our lives. Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, nekabla, Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, nekabla, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorak. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom u'mevorak. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, nekabla, Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat, nekabla.
We start Shabbat by lighting candles. When I light candles, I am connected to the generations who came before me who also lit candles. I prepare for Shabbat by lighting candles and getting challah and grape juice. As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As our generations remind us of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
So pick up the candle by the base. Say, let's step over here. Say the blessings together in front of you. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, source of all being, who calls us to holy acts through mitzvot, and inspires us to kindle his lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat. Well done.
I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. To work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illuminate all of us, and to bring that vision to life. I begin with a prayer of gratitude.
Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach, HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. No, stay your seats. Remain standing. Remain standing.
When I first read the Ma'ariv Aravim, I thought it was about day and night. Then I realized it was about creation. God creates everything, from your head to your toes. But he also created time, day, night, and sky. I think this prayer is important because without creation, we wouldn't be here. I am most thankful for the creation of water because without water, we wouldn't live. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma potea she'arim, uvit vuna mishane itim, umekalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishverotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipne choshe, v'choshe mipne or, umavir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uven layla, Adonai Sevaot Shemo, El Hai Vekayam, Tamid Yimlo Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baru Ata Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide and time and light. You guide the current of day into night, as heaven expands to infinity. You set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ariv Aravim.
Good job.
This prayer talks about the gift of the Torah. The Torah was a gift of love. I feel God's love when I'm in the temple. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives its form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. We may be seated. Wait, you guys are going to lead us in the prayer? Okay. I'll be right here with you. Okay. Just like we do on Wednesdays. Ready?
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavam ubechol nafshecha ubechol yodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anohi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha V'dibartam ba'am, v'shivtecha b'zbeitecha, u'vlechtecha b'derech, u'shochtecha u'vkumecha, u'shartam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha, u'vtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha, L'man tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim Elohehem. Ani Adonai Elohehem, asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Yitzrayim, liot lahem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohehem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
The Miha Moha is about redemption. Redemption means to save. In this prayer, God saves the Jews from Egypt and from being slaves. I am thankful that we have the freedom to say the Shema aloud, because a long time ago, we weren't allowed to do that. This prayer also talks about the sea splitting, which is important, because if the sea didn't split, we would still be stuck in Egypt. A miracle I've witnessed is rain and snow. The Miha Moha is about redemption.
The Micha Mocha we're about to sing is, of course, about miracles. And so on Sundays, we challenge our students and ask them, what miracles have they noticed? Which is why Lily added seeing rain and snow here in Southern California is indeed a big miracle. And so we challenge our students to understand that miracles are events that happen every single day that we are able to notice, in hopes of opening their eyes and perhaps refreshing our own eyes to the miracles that exist all around us, if we would but open our eyes, our minds, and our hearts to see them. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam, yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Norati lot o sefele, norati lot o sefele. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. Ma'alechutecha rahu vanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch leolam va'edi. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. Yam bam bam bim bim bam, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. I lie la lie lie lie, yabba ba ba bim bam. I think bim bam is a word that our songwriters use when they just couldn't figure out what else to say. One moment.
The Hashki Venu talks about peace and God protecting us at night. I feel safe at night when I sleep. The image I think of when I hear the phrase shelter of peace in this prayer is an orphanage. An orphanage provides protection and a home for children with no family, so it is their shelter of peace. Give us a place to rest. Adonai our God, bring us into shelter, in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety. And in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu va'al kol amo, Yisrael va'al Yerushalayim. The Hashki Venu talks about peace.
Good job, Ellie. Sorry I didn't have the slides up there for us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. 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 Which brings us, of course, to what Shabbat is all about, which is finding a way to carve out our own space and time. Indeed, that is the big challenge. Shabbat is about sanctifying time. And we, as human beings, connect much more with sanctifying space. Look at our homes, look at our synagogues, look at our buildings. We're excellent at sanctifying space. Time, however, is an even greater challenge. How do you sanctify time? By making it special. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Wait, sorry, let's get to the right slides. Oh, sorry, what happened? Here it comes. Now we're ready. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Here comes the key part. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. It's all about making the seventh day special. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Let us rise for our prayers as we are able, our tefillah. Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shamo b'yahava, melech ozer u'moshiach u'magen, baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, v'ezrat Sarah, Ata gibor leolam Adonai, mechaye hakol ata, rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach, umorid hagal Hashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, sohomech noflim verofei holim, umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurot umido melach melech meimit umechayem umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahallelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. We may be seated. Oh, sorry. Yep, I took care of that. We're good. Yep. We've done that.
Kedushut Hayom is about celebrating Shabbat and making Shabbat holy. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
The Avodah blessing is about serving God. Celebrating holidays, doing acts of kindness, and praying are some ways we can serve God. You are with us in our prayer, our love in our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, Ledvateha Bira Na'avod.
The Hoda'ah is about thanking God for our lives, our souls, and miracles in our lives, and the gifts that happen evening, morning, and afternoon. We should be thankful for all that we have, like the chance to lead the service. We can't give God flowers to show gratitude, but you can show gratitude by doing good deeds and appreciating the miracles. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of our soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah hatov simha ulcha na'eh lahodot.
Yolisa Goy is a quote from the prophet Isaiah. It is about peace. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never again know war. Don't stop after beating the swords into plowshares. Don't stop. Go on beating and make musical instruments out of them. Whoever wants to make war again will have to turn them into plowshares first.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon Lechol hashalom, ki ata hu melech adon. Lechol hashalom, shalom rahav Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rahav Al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol heit uvechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rahav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim leolam. We extend our prayers for peace to all who have found their sense of shalom, their sense of wholeness and peace and contentment, disturbed, perhaps even shattered by the challenges that they are facing. Challenges to their bodies, to their minds, to their health, to their sense of well-being. I invite you during the musical interlude between the paragraphs to share aloud the name of a loved one who is in need of just such a blessing, just such encouragement at this time, so that we might bring them here into our hearts and into this space. May all who are facing challenges to their health and their well-being be blessed on their journey, a journey that might bring them back to a refuah shlema, a return to the wholeness they seek, the shalom that they desire, the peace that they crave. Baruch atah Adonai rofei hacholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us bring hope and healing to those who are in need. And let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We take this opportunity, as we do for every worship service, to pause from our prayers, to pause from our singing, to pause from our doing, so that we might spend a moment being. There is so much peace available to us when we just simply stop. We human beings evolved in time where there was lots of free time. Think about what life was like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 3,000 years ago. No movies, no novels, no clocks, no internet, no newspapers, no journals, no nothing. We had time to sit and to stare. That's how we evolved. That's what's up here. This brain is a 10,000-year-old brain that is used to a time when there was a whole lot of downtime. We have distracted ourselves with our modern conveniences and believe that doing is being. We have deluded ourselves to thinking the more checks I have on my do list, the more successful I am, the happier I will be, the more content I will be. There is no end to the to-do list. It keeps growing and growing and growing. There is no end to the things that we can or have to do. And so just to spend some time looking at a flower, watching the sun travel through the sky, the clouds blow through the sky, this is where we found meaning for most of our existence. Let us ponder that while we pause for a moment of silent meditation. Hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey. Lo yisagoy goy Erev, lo yilmedu od milchamav, lo yisagoy el goy Erev, lo yilmedu od milchamav. Hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey. Lo yisagoy el goy Erev, lo yilmedu od milchama, lo yisagoy el goy Erev, lo yilmedu od milchama. If only the words of Isaiah, some thousands of years old, would come true. That nation will never again have to raise up sword against nation, and never again will her sons and her daughters have to go out and die in the field of battle. This week's Torah portion brings us to the climax of the encounter between Moses, Aaron, God, and Pharaoh. 2 weeks ago, we had a chance to explore in our Saturday morning Torah study just how distorted of a view movies have handed down to us about the Exodus experience. Many of us grew up with Charlton Heston and the rod, which was stabbed into the Nile River to cause blood. No, it was Aaron who brought the staff into the Nile River. It was not Charlton Heston. It was that other guy. Who played Aaron in that movie? Yeah, right. We don't know. Terrible. Charlton Heston, yes, the other guy. It was Aaron who did the first 3 plagues upon Egypt, not Moses. There you go. Our students have prepared a rather creative interpretation of this final showdown of Moses, Aaron, God, and Pharaoh, and have prepared for us a wonderful little skit, which we can have a chance to look at now.
God led the children of Israel by the way of the Sea of Reeds. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him to bury in the cave of Machpelah. A pillar of cloud led them by day, and a pillar of fire led them by night. Meanwhile, back in Egypt,
Minister, why isn't my breakfast ready?
Mighty Pharaoh, we are interviewing cooks today. It has been hard to find replacements. Remember when the good days when there were Hebrew slaves?
When there are frogs and lice and lots of plagues.
When Pharaoh could count on having breakfast in bed?
Bless them! We are fools to let them go. Saddle the horses, get the chariots warmed up, let's bring them back.
now freed from slavery to Pharaoh, the Israelites turned around to find 600 Egyptian chariots approaching, with Pharaoh in the lead. They cry out to Moses that they are all going to die.
Everyone remain calm, and no, we are not going back to Egypt. There is a choice. Everyone start walking in the water.
And Moses held out his arm over the sea. God drove back the sea and turned it into dry land. And the pillar of cloud came between the Egyptians and the Israelites.
See, God is protecting us.
But Pharaoh still wanted to have his breakfast in bed. Seeing that the sea was dry, he ordered the chariots into the sea to follow the Israelites. But Moses spread his arm out over the sea, and the water returned to normal. The Egyptians drowned. Moses and Miriam led the children of Israel in a song of praise.
Mi hamoha bali madonai. Mi hamoha nedar bakodesh.
It was great. It was wonderful. Starring Gerald as Moses, Lily as the announcer, Ellie Cudler as Pharaoh, and our own Raina as the minister, giving us a short midrash, creative midrash of what might have very well happened back in Pharaoh's palace once he realized Pharaoh had let the Israelites go. We will have a chance to dabble more deeply into that tomorrow. But one of the things our tradition has taught us for the last 3,000 years has been that incident at the Sea of Reeds. Again, no thanks to Cecil B. DeMille and Warner Brothers and Charlton Heston and the whole crew. They blew it. The Israelites did not stand on the shore of the sea and watch the water part. That is not how the Torah describes it. No. The Torah says the Israelites went into the sea on dry ground. Our rabbis ask, wait a minute. We know physics. Even 2,000 years ago, they knew physics. You can't walk into the sea on dry land. If you walk into the sea, it's wet. There is no dry land in the sea. From that, we learned that the waters did not part until the Israelites were in the sea itself. They did not stand on the side. I love that scene, by the way. You have to, if you have a chance, you've got to watch it again. The acting is just superb. As Miriam and the women are seated there on the rock, watching the water part, and their emotions contained in their body gestures and their facial expressions. That's not how it happened. Of course, I'm not sure how it happened at all, but Torah tells us they got into the water before they found their way out. And that's what our tradition has always taken away from this encounter. We cannot solve our problems by sitting on the seashore waiting for those troubled waters to part. Contrary to Rabbis Simon and Garfunkel, there's not going to be a bridge over the troubled waters. The only way we can get through those troubled waters is to get in to those very waters, which many of us are fearful to do for obvious reasons. Troubled waters are dangerous. White rapids can swift you. The swift current can carry you away and bash you into rocks. Yes, it's dangerous. Yes, it's risky. But that's where the solution lies. It doesn't lie on sitting on the safety of the seashore saying, "Oh dear, what shall we do?" No, the only way we can solve our problems is to get into the middle of them. And problems are always, by definition, messy. Whether they are challenges in our families, whether they are challenges in our cities, our organizations, or our country. We cannot sit on the sidelines and expect these problems to solve themselves. What is missing is what is contained in our midrash. A beautiful understanding of how the seas parted. Again, no thanks to Cecil B. DeMille and Warner Brothers, we're presented with a single path that the Israelites all walked through. Our rabbis in their midrash, their creative explanation, just like we saw from our students, understand that the sea parted into 13 paths. Why 13? For the 13 tribes of Israel. We count Dinah as a tribe. You're welcome, Dinah. So each tribe had the opportunity to cross through on their own, to find their way through. And the neat thing was, what happened when they got to the other side? Because instead of arguing with each other and saying, we were first, we were here. No. We banded together and realized that as a people we are stronger when we accept diversity and weaker when we reduce everyone to one. And that's what we are missing from our national discussion, from our national dialogue, from our dialogues in our families. My father knows that I disagree with his politics, so we don't discuss politics. I love my father dearly, but we don't discuss politics. Why? Because we'll only end up arguing. We're not going to do that. We're not going to argue. We're not going to spend our time together arguing. We have the opportunity to just agree to disagree and leave that one aside. Because we have reached the other side of those particular troubled waters. It is my hope that we will have the ability to override the indoctrination that we have received from media about this particular event and the whole Exodus experience. Because it wasn't just Moses, it was Moses and it was Aaron. And it wasn't just Moses and Aaron, it was also Miriam. And it wasn't one tribe, it was 13. And in that diversity, we found the ability to create a people. Our national motto is, I wish our confirmands were here because we saw this in a great video in the Capitol building. E pluribus unum. Out of the many, one. But the only way that happens is when we show tolerance and respect to everyone who is part of the many. So, from the splitting of the sea, to our students leading us in worship service. Thank you guys, Raina, Gerald, well done. Even your skit was very well done. Love the accent, by the way. You did better than Christian Bale did in the movie Exodus, Gods and Kings. Horrible movie, absolutely the worst movie ever about the Exodus. Please don't pay for it. I saw it on an airplane. Christian Bale played Moses. All the other actors are speaking most fluently with a lovely British accent. Christian Bale couldn't hold it. We got a little bit of it and then other parts not. You did a very good job, Reno. Well done. If you want to see a really bad movie about the Exodus, check that one out. I have special comments from Morad Julie, who is the teacher of our 5th and 6th grades, who is appreciative of me sharing her remarks. She says, I'm so sorry that I am not in person tonight, but I'm watching on YouTube. Oh, good. As I quarantine due to COVID-19 to her and her family. To my students, Mazel Tov, you did it. You still have to come on Sunday, though. We began the school year studying the prophets. We learned the stories of select prophets and the messages they shared. We learned that prophets delivered 3 kinds of messages: criticism, prediction, and comfort or hope for the future. We also explored how we can act as modern day prophets by speaking out when we see things that are wrong in today's world. Students brought up issues such as racism, climate change, and homelessness, and we discussed possible ways that we could address these challenges. After wrapping up our prophets unit, we began a unit on prayer, and the students enjoyed a story we read that answered the question, can a horse learn how to pray? What's the answer? The horse can't read, but could still pray? Even though the horse couldn't read, the horse could pray. Which reminds me of a great story of a rabbi, which I'll tell you in just a moment. Anyway, while the story was silly, the message of the story was that it can be easy to go through the motions of prayer without intention. We explored the Shema and its blessings in the Amidah. We learned that the prayers take place in a certain order and reflected on the themes of the prayers in preparation for tonight's service. Students wrote, as you heard, personal reflections about prayers that they are reading. We've not yet started our final unit of study, but when we do, we'll explore values that relate to the Jewish community. There are many wonderful individuals that help keep our educational programs running smoothly, including Rabbi Mark, Cantor Stacey, our wonderful teachers, Mrs. Linda Sealander, Maura Milhander, Peggy Horowitz, and Alyssa Hess, our Madricha, Mara Milhander, our Vice President of Education, Harry Jacobs, and the Education Committee. We also have wonderful volunteers, including Greg Mayton, who observes the parking lot and oversees safety on Sunday, Cindy Tesler, who coordinates our Sunday snacks, and Myra Ford, who helps with those Sunday snacks. Thank you all so much for giving your time. I also want to thank the parents of our students in our educational program for entrusting us with their child's Jewish education. It is a pleasure to teach your children. Shabbat Shalom from Julie Nolte. Thank you, Julie, very much. So, a real quick story about a great teacher who got himself in trouble. And it relates to a horse, although it's a donkey. In the story, this teacher was hired to teach the prince, the royal prince. He was known throughout the land as a teacher who could teach anybody anything. And so, the king hired him to tutor his son. His son turned out to be a rather incorrigible student. And the teacher, in a fit of anger, shouted at the prince, "You jackass, I will teach you how to read." Unknown to the teacher, outside of the open window was walking by a king's minister, who then went back to the king and reported, this teacher is so great, he's teaching a jackass how to read. The teacher was brought immediately to the king. "I understand that you can teach a jackass to read." Yes, Your Highness. I would like to see this. Jackass Reed. Yes, Your Highness. Give me a month and we'll be back. He hurries home. He's sitting at the kitchen table, sobbing. His wife says, "What is wrong?" "Oh, I've gotten myself in trouble. I lost patience with the prince. I called the prince a jackass. And now the king thinks that I can teach a donkey to read. What am I going to do?" The wife said, "Leave it to me. I've got this." "What?" "I've got this. Let us go out to the farm. Let us get the donkey. Bring a book with you, and we will teach this donkey how to read to save your life. And next time, don't lose your patience." "Oh, okay." And so every day, the wife, the husband went out with a book, the donkey. The wife would spread some grain in the book. The donkey would lick up the grain, "Yee-haw, yee-haw," and learn to turn the page. More grain, "Yee-haw, yee-haw," and turn the page. A month later, the teacher appears in the palace with the donkey in tow and a book. Sets the book down in front of the donkey and says to the king, "Your Highness, I have successfully taught this donkey how to read." The king is impressed. "Let me see it. Wonderful. Let me open the book to his favorite part." Opens the book. The donkey steps up as it was trained to do. "Yee-haw, yee-haw," turns the page. "Yee-haw, yee-haw." And the king says, "He's not reading. He's just yee-hawing." He says, "Well, that is the language of the donkey, Your Highness. To teach you to understand the language of the donkey is an entirely different matter, of which I am not capable to do. But I did teach this donkey to read." Did you get it? It's the first Friday, finally, the first Friday of February, folks. If you are celebrating a happy event this month, now is your opportunity to claim the space here on the Bema, and we want to especially acknowledge Dr. Ray Irwin's birthday, which was unfortunately left... What, you're booing? Oh, ooh, okay. Which was unfortunately left off of our birthday announcements, but Ray celebrated his birthday February 2nd, 1st. The first day of February. I tell you, not even a Valentine baby, but he's much, much sweeter. With that, not a groundhog either. Not a groundhog either. That's good. Absolutely. He beat Phil by one day. Not Phil Carey, the other Phil out in Pennsylvania. If you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, a mortgage burning, a final car payment, or a retirement, whatever you're celebrating this month, come and join us here on the Bema so that we might acknowledge that. Yes, I know. And yours too. Yeah. February. It was a busy month. Good job, guys. All right. Microphone will come to you. Please, if you are so brave, tell us your name. That shouldn't take any sense of bravery. But if you are so brave, tell us what you're celebrating and how many times you're celebrating it.
I'm Ray Irwin. Last Wednesday, February 1st, I celebrated my 73rd birthday. And so far, it's going very well.
So, 73rd. Well done.
I'm Laura Milhander, and on February 16th, I will be turning 55.
Double nickels. Well done.
I'm Raina Whitfoth, and February 27th, I'm celebrating my 11th birthday, and my dad's birthday is on the 14th.
All right. 2 in February.
Hi, I'm Sue Mitchell. I missed Groundhog Day by one day because today is my birthday.
Oh.
And I am 75.
The very day. Excellent.
Hello, my name is Rodney Rudd. I celebrated my birthday yesterday and turned 14.
Hey, well done.
Hi, my name is Gerald Rudd, and my birthday is on February 26th.
February 26th. Both of you in February. Excellent. In addition, we have these anniversaries: Mike and Sharon Kravitz, Brian and Teresa Goldstein, and Art and Donna Berglas. Well done. And the birthdays for Rodney Rudd, Trudy DeBovie, Mark Volin, Roland Luna, Howard Koenig, Kira Lieb, Lily Seen, Sheila Craven, Laura Milhander, Harry Gunther, Shari Rosen, Gary Sanders, Owen Galvan, Mike Gimbel, Tyler Porter, Michael Rudolph, Julie Weil, Jonathan Rosenberg, Aaron Sievertson, Trenton Porter, Gerald Rudd, yes, we got Kai Sneward, and Raina Whitfoth. Wonderful. For that, we join together in our Shechianu, our blessing of prayers and thanksgiving to the Creator for enabling us to celebrate these and everyone else's happy occasions. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh. Amen. Mazel tov, everybody, on birthdays and anniversaries. Thank you all. You may return to your seats. With that, we move to the conclusion of our worship service with the words of our Aleinu, which you can find on the screen in front of you. I invite us to rise as we are able, as we share together the words of our adoration. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shamo echad. I regret the technical issues that have occurred. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, those who live on in our hearts and our memories, and in the place we call Olam Haba, the world to come. We call to mind those for whom we are observing the Shiva and Shloshim period: Cyrus Shadeh, the friend of Elisa Rose, and Allegra Gordon, longtime Temple Beth Or member. And to the family of Allegra Gordon and to Elisa, our hearts go out to you in the immediacy of the death of your friend and, of course, your family member. To those names, we link the names of those whose yahrzeits have occurred during this past week: Jenno Berkowitz, Pauline Schneider, Dr. George Hirsch, Nathan Letzter, Robert Bernard Jacobs, Eugenia Austin Gorman, Jeanette B. Herman, Ben Dubin, Willie Zwern, Jack Geller, Meta M. Sokol, Philip Miller, and Dennis Kritschmar. And to those names, we link the names of those for whom we are observing the Kaddish period: Marty Hershkowitz, Dottie Roth, Gerald Kramer, Mark Lightman, Stephen Z. Lavute, Harleen Brow, Tim Enriquez, Lenny Lightman, Lorraine Stein, Harry Fox, Ed Ginter, Dr. Alan Sherman, Mary Lewis, Joel Lowenstein, Arthur Krieger, Maria Paulus Osborne, Helen Hope Tews, Martin Becker, Bella Atun Cohen, and Nahama Fragoso. If there is a loved one whom you are remembering, I invite you to share that name at this time. To those that we have named aloud and to those that we keep named in the quiet places of our hearts and memories, we link as well the names and memories of the men and women of our armed forces who have given their lives for our liberties and our freedoms, those who have given their lives for our safety here at home, members of our police, our fire, first responders, and of course the members of the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the hope of peace. Zichronam levracha. May their memories always be for a blessing as we share together the words of our Kaddish, which you can find in your prayer books on page 292. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, b'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach le'olam ulalmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May all of us who mourn and all of us who are bereaved, may we find through God's eternal presence a source of strength, courage, and hope, above all a source of shalom, of peace. And let us all say, amen. I invite us to be seated for a moment. We share together the words of our Kaddish, Kaddish we just did. Kiddush is next. When you enter our social hall, please help yourself to a glass of juice or wine, as is your preference. Following that, we will share our concluding song, and then Motzi, with our students' help, and have a chance to then greet each other during our oneg. But with the joy of Shabbat, we toast the blessings with which we have been blessed this week. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim Rei. With that, I invite us to rise as we are able. If you are comfortable putting the hand on the shoulder of someone next to you or holding the hand of someone next to you, please feel free to do so that we might create for ourselves a link of shalom to take us into the week ahead. We conclude with the singing of Oseh Shalom. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens give us the strength and the courage to make peace here in this world in our lifetime. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru amen. Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imeru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. And with the words of our motzi, we express our gratitude for God, for all that sustains us physically and nourishes us spiritually. Students, come, join me. Let's do the motzi. You know how it goes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tehavon. Pinch off a piece. Shabbat shalom, everyone.